What is going on, guys? It's your boy Az. We are back here. Happy birthday, MSF. Happy anniversary to you guys. So yeah, let's in case you guys haven't already checked it out, the blog is available on the online website, and yeah, it's going to be very, very, very interesting to see what happens here. This is going to be such I think they're starting it off on a very, very cool note with all these events. And yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to test out this weekly event thing, and they're going to see if it's good, because yeah, remember in the Q&A they did talk about having events kind of sequentially, and it isn't just everything all at once. So I'm very interested to see what happens here. It is a 5-week event, so that means by the time we get into May, everything should be kind of dealt with and sorted out. But then yeah, let's kind of look at some of these key points here, and then we'll quickly talk about the teams that we can use for this event. So again, this is the 8th anniversary. There's going to be a span of 5 weeks of events, getting costumes. There's going to be access to tier 21 orbs. There's that 200 mil that we keep throwing around, so I am very curious to see how it goes. And then there's going to be another global milestone that's going to knock our socks off, apparently. So let's have a look at it. Yeah, so again, golden trading materials. 12k materials is a lot, actually. To take one character from level 1 to 110 takes, I think, about 4,000, somewhere like mid 4,000s. I want to say 4,300, 4,400. I forget which one. So what that means is with 12k L4 training materials, that's going to be able to at least get you, 2 or 3 characters up to 110 from basically from 1, right? And of course, using that gold as well, I think it's going to cost like 40, 50 mil. So kind of works out. So basically they're giving about 3 characters that you can basically use. So keep that in mind. And then there's going to be purple ions associated with it. And it says we have enough to take 1 character up to purple L5. So in the grand scheme of things, it might not seem like a lot, but this is only the first week, and these rewards could very well ramp up for the next week. So keep that in mind as well. There's going to be new costumes. There's going to be new player frames. And there's going to be a mysterious big gift. So that's kind of cool. I'm interested to see what happens there. Let's quickly go into the event here. There's going to be 3 different modes, and again, the story mode is very straightforward. I feel like they always do one of these just for people starting out, and basically just gives you like a nice kind of easing you into it. And of course, I think the main avenue here is just to get you some character shards, especially for the new beginning accounts that are starting out. And then again, as they kind of go into these weekly challenges, each week is going to have a specific team. So we're going to talk about the specific teams here. There's going to be a mutant, there's going to be Avengers, there's going to be Spider, Villain, and of course the best buddies, which is going to be one that's going to be required for a future Annihilation, basically the saga, I guess. So the easy challenges, you have to be level 40. There's going to be 5 missions per week. There's going to be tier 19 and tier 20 orbs. That's kind of cool. And then there's going to be upgrade tokens to bring up 2 characters to 5 red, 5 yellow. Also really cool, because that's going to save us gold. That's going to save us training materials. And then of course the final node is going to give you some nice retcon costumes for Jeff, Squirrel, She-Hulk, and Gwenpool. So that's really cool. The hard challenges, this is probably going to be the ones for the end game players like myself, or for maybe even mid to early end game players. So again, level 100, we're going to get Crimson Armory 20 and 21 fragments, purple L4s, L5s, yellow star 7, yellow 7 red upgrade tokens, and it says here we're going to be able to get GT20 characters from this. So what that means is, potentially, depending on what the characters are, this could very well help people with Professor Xavier, and maybe getting a little either like, maybe they're finishing up a section, or maybe they're just, kind of balancing between materials to get another character up, and then bang, you can get 2 extra characters here just with this week event. We could very well get more the next week as well. So again, I'm not going to say no to that. That's pretty cool if we can get some free tier 20s out of it. So that's really cool there, especially with the crunch that is right now with the Armory 20 orbs. And that's kind of it. There's some other stuff here I don't want to talk about, but other than that, they did kind of give us a heads up, which I do appreciate. We will need the best buddies for future content in the next age. So yeah, I mean, it's great they gave us a heads up on it, and it makes sense, because I think Spider-Man is part of the best buddies, and he's one of the characters that's going to get reworked. And of course, we know that with Spider-Man, his movie's coming out, he's going to get a rework. I think Venom's going to be in there as well, so it only makes sense. And I do appreciate the fact that they did mention it, so that we're aware of it, and then we can kind of start preparing. So let's jump into the game here. So again, with week 1, it's going to be the mutant section first, the best mutant buddies here, as you guys can kind of see, and it is in game here. And I did want to kind of talk about some of the teams that I feel like are going to be good here, especially with the fact that, like I said, people are going to want to be pushing for these hard sections, because we want that precious Armory 20 and 21, and of course the L4s and L5 ions, right? Because that's what everyone's got their eyes on the prize on. Whether it's Blue Marvel, whether it's Professor Xavier, or whether it's the next chase for Annihilus, these are all going to come in handy. And yeah, as you guys can kind of see here, we do have some very key characters and then other ones that are not so hot anymore. Of course, as well, I would say if you do have New Mutants built up, they would potentially be a solid team for this. Of course, myself, I am not going to be doing that because I don't have them built up. But what I will say is, I don't know if we need to 3-star these missions or not, but I feel like whether we whether we need to do it or not, as long as I think we complete it, it should be okay. And yeah, leading the forefront here is that you can kind of see which characters I have that are tier 20. So of course we're going to have to include Phoenix and Emma Frost in there. Those are going to be key characters because they are essentially in a lot of good game modes. So Emma Frost, she was kind of one of the reasons why I even got through the Professor Xavier saga. So it only makes sense that she'd come along here with the ride as well. So that's going to be good. She's going to have a little synergy as well with her fellow mutants. So that's kind of nice. We may bring Rachel. Rachel will be good because she can spread negatives. She can kind of, speed bar control as well with her special. She can reduce the speed bar, so that's going to help out. And of course as well, we got Havoc, another Professor Xavier saga character that a lot of people built up. I didn't need to bring mine up because I already had the Fantastic Four, but some people did bring him to tier 20 as well. And then some people brought up Jean. Jean was another good one for the Xavier saga, but she's also good in raids because you do need her. I forget what section it was. It's for the for the spotlight orbs, or sorry, the spotlight raids, excuse me. But now I guess they're kind of slowly being kind of taken over by the with chat. Oh, can you use champions in that section? Actually, I'm trying to remember now. I don't know if you can. Either way, I should do my homework. All I really do is I sim with those raids, so I clearly don't pay attention here. But yeah, Jean would be a good addition. And again, if you have Jean, Phoenix, Storm, I feel like those would all have really good synergy with each other. I guess technically you can use Immortal Weapons, or not Immortal Weapons, Immortal X-Men as well, because technically those guys are all mutants. Nightcrawler would be a good choice. And yeah, I don't know about these other guys here. There is supposedly supposed to be a Jubilee rework, so I guess if you have her built, she could potentially be useful as well here. But I would say, yeah, just stick with what's meta. Stick with your Emma Frost and your Immortal X-Men or Havoc or Phoenix, because, she's part of the Phoenix Force. But yeah, these would be the good ones here for the mutant section. And then next week, we do have, I think, the Avenger ones. I don't know if we'll talk about every single team here, but we will briefly talk about the next week's team, which will be the Avenger ones, which is also good because, yeah, there is a lot of key characters we have built up. Or I thought we had more than that, but I guess not. But Sam would be good. Thing, so a lot of people have Thing built up because of Fantastic Four. Let's bring our Nick Fury up. He could be potentially good as well because he is he's got the on-spawn buffs and he can give the speed up to the team. Hank would be a solid choice. Of course, Swordmaster. Hopefully he does become farmable today. I'm hoping on that so I can get him up a bit more and maybe even bring him up for the Xavier saga. Then Hercules, again, he's part of that Spotlight raid team. Thing, Cap Sam for the speed. And then, of course, Miss Marvel. She's part of the Champions crew, and people probably already have her at tier 20. So I'm kind of falling off the wagon here. Let's look at the Spider Buddies because I didn't actually have a look at that yet. So let's have a look at that, and then we'll kind of call it quits there. Spider Buddies. Let's see who we got here. We've got... Oh, wow, we got a lot. I guess these are kind of all the Spider-Verse guys. But yeah, a lot of people will probably have some of these built up quite a bit. Miles, Champions. We've got Vigilante, Silver Sable. We've got Superior Spider-Man, Super Fast, Black Cat, Peter B, Penny. So lots of good choices there. Lots of good choices. And let's briefly go over the best villain ones because now we've already kind of committed. Best villain buddies. Which ones do we got here? Ooh, villain is another good one. We could do a semi-working Annihilators team with the 3-piece. Have Omega Red in there with Orcus. Or we could do Vulture, because Vulture and Shocker. And yeah, lots of good Spidey team members too. Actually, a few guys from the Spider-Verse here. You can do an Insidious 6 with a Superior 6, right? So quite a few actually, more than I thought. And then let's have a look at the best buddies, which is kind of the one that they've alluded to already, where it will be for a future team. And again, I don't have these guys super built up, but you can kind of see we do have them semi built up. Cap and Dakin. I think we had used these guys quite a bit. I am a big Captain America fan, so that's one of the reasons why. Dakin, I think it was for a leaderboard event, and I think at the time I had used the Mercs for money quite a bit. So again, that makes sense. With Wolverine, he's part of that again, that Alpha Flight team. So of course that's why he was higher up. And then we got Spider-Man OG, who's actually the weakest here, which makes me so sad because I do love Spider-Man. He definitely needs some love, and I'm glad he's getting a rework there. Deadpool can be a bit higher too, but yeah, very interested to see what happens and what characters they'll pick to Gear Tier 20. Is it something that we can pick, or is it already pre-decided for us? But otherwise, guys, that is kind of it for this one. Hopefully it gives you guys an idea of all the teams and gives you guys an idea here. But like I said already, the first week is going to be the best mutant teams. We'll have some footage for you guys when it actually does go live here, when it goes in game. I don't think it'll be too hard. I think they probably made it so it's probably pretty fair and maybe not too challenging, hopefully. But I guess some people do like that challenging content. And actually, myself, I do like the puzzles and I do like trying to solve it. So anyways, guys, for sure, hopefully this has helped you guys out. Hopefully you guys found some value in it. Otherwise, I just want to wish you guys a happy anniversary again, and hopefully, hopefully the event goes smoothly without no hiccups. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, all that good stuff, because yeah, there's always something going on, and yeah, it wouldn't surprise me on a big day like today, and maybe hopefully they tested it before they actually make it go live. But otherwise, guys, thank you for watching. I will see you guys when I see you guys.